What's up, slippers? Oh, what do we have here? YouTube's undergoing another policy change. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. That's a lie, it's not welcome at all. This is coming about a month before Rewind 2019, so I mean, it gives me an excuse to break my habit of only uploading with the minimum increments of 2 months between my videos, so I see this as an absolute win. Don't get me wrong, I've had full video ideas written out, but various circumstances have led to me not being able to make those videos. Anyway, there's something incredible about this new policy thing, and it's something I've wanted to say for a while, but I never thought I'd be able to say it because of very obvious reasons. This whole policy controversy change thing, it's not entirely YouTube's fault this time. Wow. I'm sure you've already heard a lot about it on YouTube or on Twitter or wherever else you hear things nowadays, probably Reddit, I don't know. But for the 4 people watching this video who have no idea what's going on right now, let me explain it. So YouTube has evidently made this agreement with the US Federal Trade Commission that every single channel that is ever uploaded to YouTube ever has to report back to YouTube and let them know if their channel or if specific videos on their channel are made for kids or not. By the way, I'm getting my information from the YouTube support page and the Google support page about this directly. So links will be in the description for that. Please educate yourselves on this because apparently it's the law now. Anyway, it says failure to report back to YouTube on this whole thing could result in legal consequences with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, more commonly known as COPPA, which I will be referring to it as for the rest of the video because Children's Online Privacy Protection Act is too long to say and I'll probably keep messing it up. But that's not the point. The point is it says every single channel, every single person that has ever uploaded to YouTube has to report back to YouTube about this, or there could be legal consequences or whatever. So you're meaning to tell me that my friend Blake has to mark his Beyblade YouTube channel from 2012 as either made for kids or not made for kids, otherwise he can suffer legal consequences? Those videos were made when he was 13. How could there be legal consequences for that?
Also, Blake, I'm still waiting on that collab. We still haven't done the Beyblade collection video. So please leave a comment and email my business email. Thank you.
Also, Timbleweeds from Deadwater Gaming mentioned that he had to go back into his old gaming channel from 2013 where all the videos are privated and still mark them as either made for kids or not. We're not even past the first paragraph of this and there are already serious, blatant problems. Then they provide some guidelines to be able to determine whether your content is kid-friendly or not. So let's take a look at those now. According to the FTC's guidance on COPPA, a video is child-directed, which we call made for kids, if children are the primary audience based on the factors described below. Children are not the primary audience, but the video is still directed to children based on the factors below. So it qualifies as made for kids if children are the primary audience or not the primary audience. It could go either way according to this. They also mention these factors below, which we're gonna go into in a second. It elaborates on it a little more, but right off the bat, it's yeah, if children are the primary audience or not, we don't know. Okay, well, let's look at these factors below, shall we? Whether children are your intended or actual audience for the, oh, come on! Any other information you may have to help determine your video's audience, like empirical evidence of the video's audience. Okay, despite being, again, insanely vague for absolutely no reason, it goes even further. And it's reinforces the point I made earlier, yeah, if children are the intended audience or not, it could be made for kids. We don't know. Well, why mention it if it could go either way? Whether children are your intended or actual audience. What? You don't control how the algorithm works. The YouTube can just completely promote our videos to anyone they want in the algorithm. We don't have any control over that. They have control over personalizing videos in the recommended according to demographic. Why is this our problem? And then the last one. Any other information to help determine the video's audience, including empirical evidence. The only real empirical evidence that channels like myself with less than 100 subscribers can see is the comment section. And with 90% of YouTube comments belonging in r/young people YouTube, it's really not accurate in determining who's actually a child. Anyway, this Google page doesn't really go into a whole lot of detail about like what marking your content as made for kids actually entails. So we're gonna take a look at this one YouTube email that I received on like all of my channels, and we're gonna break that down. And there's also a video on the YouTube creator page, which we'll get into later. But right now I wanna focus on this email because it's almost just as vague as the Google page.
Starting in January, we will limit the data we collect on Made for Kids content to comply with this law. This means we will disable personalized ads on this content, which affects revenue for creators making content for kids.
And therein lies the problem. If you've been on YouTube for any length of time over the past few years, you know exactly kind of the paradox that we're talking about here. So YouTube has been relentlessly pushing content that very much appeals to kids to the forefront, onto the trending page, whatever, into recommended. And they've been promoting this family-friendly, appealing to children content over pretty much anything else on the entire website except for BTS, but well, let's not get into that. In a lot of cases, it's kind of the only content that's seen as advertiser-friendly ever since the Dark Ages began. Thank you, Felix, very cool. This new set of rules, however, completely takes away the ability for those kinds of channels who make that kid-friendly content to have ads on their videos or on their channels. So if we mark our channels as child-friendly, we get no ads. If we mark our channels as not child-friendly, it's completely unclear how the advertisers will react. Do you see the disconnect here yet? It's very, very clear that this is a problem. Adding that on top of the fact that advertisers are already reluctant as it is to run their ads on non-kid friendly videos, there will be no ad revenue to be had on YouTube. Alright, so whatever, we all have to report back to YouTube about it at some point because apparently it's the law now. When do we have to do that by? Okay, there's nothing. So there really is no guideline, I guess. I mean, YouTube just kind of expects us to do it and the changes are gonna take effect in January. So let's do it right now. Now, since the guidelines for marking our channels as kid-friendly are so vague that they might as well be from the 8-hour time slot the internet guy gives you for when he'll be there, we kind of just have to go in blind and make some guesses here. I mean, I make Minecraft videos on my main channel, so I mean, Minecraft is kind of a kid-friendly game, obviously. But Timbleweebs messaged me saying that apparently a few channels got an email saying that, oh, if you make gaming videos, you should be safe to mark your channel as not made for kids. I don't know why. It's just a thing that I've been told. Oh, okay, great. I mean, what am I supposed to say about that? I make Skyblock videos. How am I supposed to avoid being deemed as kid-friendly automatically by YouTube's system? On one hand, they'll take ads away if I'm deemed too child-friendly, but on the other hand, they'll take ads away if I'm not child-friendly enough. Like I said, there will be no ad revenue to be had on YouTube. So what about this channel here, Justin's Fabulous Channel for Fabulous People? I really need to put some deep thought into this because it's the law now. I don't want to get arrested. So if we really break down the ontological nature of the content that I upload on this channel, we'll see that—
Psych, I want money one day. Sorry, kids.
Anyway, there's one more thing directly from YouTube that addresses this. It's on the YouTube creator page, which in and of itself is a complete goldmine for complaining about YouTube for content. Basically, they recap everything that I already mentioned, but they go way deeper into what it actually means to mark your channel or your videos as made for kids content.
Starting in January, if you mark a specific video as made for kids, features like comments, personalized advertising, info cards, end screens, and more won't be available on individual videos. If your entire channel is set as made for kids, your videos won't have any of those features.
Okay, I think that's going a little overboard.
Your channel also won't have stories, the community tab, the notification bell, and your viewers won't be able to save to watch later or save to playlist.
I'm sorry, did you just say the notification bell? What the heck, YouTube? Your subscribe button is already so broken that it doesn't do the one thing that it's designed to do: push videos into people's sub boxes. And the notification bell is supposed to fix or remedy that in some way, despite actually not doing anything most of the time because it's completely useless. So you just destroyed the ability of so many creators who have their channels or videos marked as made for kids to have their videos promoted to their subscribers or shown to their subscribers at all. So it's basically playing YouTube on baby mode at this point. Like, honestly, you could just remove the subscribe button for the Made for Kids channels and it would have the exact same effect as what you're doing now. Don't get me wrong, I've already set both of my channels to be marked as not made for kids. The issue I'm bringing up is the fact of how paradoxical and absolutely whack this policy change is. Especially because YouTube Kids exist, and they mentioned this, I believe, in the FAQ in the comment section of this video. They mentioned that, oh, we can't enforce them using YouTube Kids. They can watch whatever YouTube they want. I'm like, what? First of all, I'm pretty sure you have to be 13 to make a Google account anyway, so if you're any younger than that, you could just pretty much restrict access to main YouTube and redirect them to the App Store or the Google Play Store or whatever it is on Android for them to download YouTube Kids and only use that until their account becomes of age to use YouTube. There's seriously a way to go about this without ruining anybody's life.
If you've already set your audience for your video and we detect error or abuse, you still have the option to use the Send Feedback button if you disagree. You can find this in your video's details tab in YouTube Studio.
Now, it's a good thing we have this community feedback button because when my Skyblock video gets marked as made for kids, I want to be able to have someone I can rely on as much as YouTube to be able to fix the problem. I mean, all of their appeal buttons have worked in the past, so I don't see how this one would be any different, right? Yeah, well, that's about enough complaining I can do for one day, so I'm gonna leave the links for the place you can leave a comment to the FTC in the description, and also a petition you can sign about it, and also all the sources I had for this video. I'll leave them down in the description below as well. Please educate yourself on this. I don't want anybody out there to get arrested or fined or anything like that. So be sure to send the FTC your comments about how completely whack these changes are. So now, since I still don't have an outro song, here's some other song that I won't come up with until the end of editing this video.
Everybody wants to go to heaven.
Hi, Extra Cut.
Oh gosh.
It's your blend Jeff in the background that's going to be edited out.